Are you guys thinking about moving to San Diego and you want to be in one of the best coastal cities that not a lot of people know about right here in North County, San Diego? That's what we're diving in today. We're jumping into where we're standing right now, access to all these beaches, neighborhoods, things to do, everything you need to know about living right here in Cardiff. So let's get into it right now.
So Cardiff, where is it? It is just north of Solana Beach, just south of Encinitas. It's about a 30-minute drive to the airport, but it is a smaller town, only about 11,000 people here in Cardiff. So smaller footprint, smaller town, but like Kristen mentioned earlier, one of the best beach towns here in San Diego.
And it's separated by the 5 freeway. So we're looking right now, we can see the 5 freeway. We're at one of the beautiful beaches. There's a huge stretch of beach right here. Like there's no houses. We're looking at the lagoon. We're gonna show you that in a little bit, but there's a few main areas where you go east of the 5, west of the 5. Obviously one's gonna be a little bit more expensive, different vibes in all these little areas, which we're gonna cover all that. But Cardiff it's been around for a little bit. It was founded in 1911. Now it's incorporated. 1986 got incorporated, so it's part of the city of Encinitas, but it does have its own zip code. So it's 92007. With that comes its own vibe, comes its own smaller school district that we'll talk about here in a little bit. It has a lot of Cardiff, from Cardiff, Wales. That was the founder's wife, was from Wales, so that's why it got its name. So you'll find a lot of streets and whatnot with British influence. One of the neighborhoods we're going to show you has a little bit of musical influence. We'll get into all that, but let's go check out Cardiff. We're going to start in the heart, let's call it downtown Cardiff, and show you around. All right, now we are in the heart of Cardiff. There's not much, a ton going on. It's busy today. There's a lot going on, but as far as
noon on a Tuesday,
it's going wild here. And so we didn't start at Seaside Market, which is like it's a cool little market. We actually ran into one of his dad's friends who was down here. What did he say was today?
Taco Tuesday, Cardiff Crack tacos.
You'll see him cooking the Cardiff Crack out in the parking lot, which is a tri-tip. If you guys don't know what tri-tip is, hit us up. We'll fill you in. It's delicious, whatever. They can make tacos out of it too. It's fantastic. But that's at Seaside Market, cool little local market. And in this section, you're gonna find like some old school places, VG Donut. You're gonna find Best of One Pizza. They've been here a long time. You're gonna find some new places, Best Pizza and Brew right here. You're gonna find Waverly on the other side. One of our favorite beer/tap rooms is right on that side as well. So while it's not too huge, you are gonna find enough to keep you busy. A few restaurants, a few shops, that kind of thing, a few little bars here and there.
Great breakfast spots.
Really good breakfast spots.
Yeah, there's a lot of here. I mean, and that's a big reason, this isn't the most touristy town. There's a couple of hotels here and there. There's some VRBOs, Airbnbs. There's campgrounds here, so that's obviously a spot where some tourists are coming in. But right now it's crowded, but it's crowded with a lot of locals in the spring. So not the most touristy town here in North County.
But like you said, so you do have it's a good spot for VRBOs, for Airbnbs, that kind of thing. And I've had friends come out here and they stay here, and then, easy access to this, easy access to these awesome beaches down here. So even though it's not like that kind of infrastructure where you're going to find like maybe one hotel is like right over here, that style Airbnb VRBO is pretty big in this little section.
So we're coming out of that downtown area, Seaside Market, VG Donut, all of those cool spots down here in Cardiff.
They're right back there.
Exactly.
We're on Chesterfield right now.
Yep, we're heading east, starting to go up the hill. This is the walking district. So as soon as you get out of that downtown area, you're in the walking district of Cardiff. Why do they call it that? Well, it's close and walkable to that downtown area, but is it super walkable?
Once you get out, so Chesterfield is the main crossing back that way, the only crossing to get to the beach. And then you go up this big hill here. It's pretty steep. So it is walkable, but even right now,
we just lost our sidewalk.
That's the thing, yes, it's walkable to the downtown. Like Cassie mentioned, I don't know if it was before or after this, but e-bikes, you see a lot of that. Now, there's not a ton of sidewalks in here. There's a few in this central little area. Cassie's walking in the street right now.
Taking the chance right here.
Because we ran out of room. But it's gonna be the most convenient to that downtown area. It does go up the hill, so it adds a lot of opportunity for views. As you go up, it's kind of tiered, so you get some gorgeous views looking back at the coast here. There's some beautiful houses, this guy right behind us. I mean, a ton of other ones too. And as far as character goes, it's got some character too.
So what you're gonna find in the walking district is a lot of detached houses. Gonna be a little bit bigger than kind of what we see On the east part of the Five, you got a lot more two-story. You do still have some of those original beach bungalows, but a lot of them have been torn down, rebuilt. Also, a handful of duplexes kind of sprinkled throughout the community as well.
And so Cassie mentioned, yeah, there's some like places that have been here for a long time that haven't been touched for a long time. And even those are a few mil on this side of the Five, west of the Five. Average price point over here is like 3.5 million. So it goes up there. Walking district, we'll show you Composer district here in a little bit. It's a little more spread out where you do have, it's like these winding spaces. This is all literally like a grid pattern. So it just, you know, up and down, tighter lots, but still a little bit of, not like, I don't know. Once you get to these downtown areas, a lot of the coastal areas, the lots tend to be a little bit bigger than like a brand new construction community, obviously. One negative they do have, you can see these power lines back here. I was chatting with somebody who was out here exploring, checking out places, and they were saying, yeah, we're looking like a $3.5 million house, and right out the window, you got these power lines because they're all above ground. Now they're putting them below ground, right, when they're rebuilding and stuff, but
some of the new construction, they're making it go underground.
By new construction, basically tear downs. Yeah, there's no, in Cardiff, you're not gonna find master plan communities. You're gonna find just a ton of single family homes, some duplexes and stuff as you get close to the downtown areas, but more than anything, it's just residential, single family homes, nothing big as far as, you know, big HOA places or anything like that.
One other little note too, it is, like we talked about, walkable, not super drivable. So you have a lot of very narrow streets, so you're pulling over for people to get past and everything. So just something to keep in mind when you're looking around Cardiff.
And one thing, we mentioned like, yeah, it's a little steep. It's not crazy walkable. It's not a ton of sidewalks, but even just right filming in this little like few block section, we passed a lot of people. There's people pushing strollers up this hill. Just walk by a bunch of kids with boogie boards on their back because you can shoot right down to the beach right here. Like we mentioned, some of the best beaches in all of North County right here. So even though it's a little bit more difficult, you're seeing a lot of people still getting out and about.
If Cardiff is someplace you're interested in, but we're not quite answering everything you need to know, definitely reach out. Get in touch with us, call, text, email. We've got your back when moving here to San Diego.
A few other things here in Cardiff. If you're living here, you'll probably be experiencing some of these things. One is the Taste of Cardiff. A few restaurants are opened up. I mean, a lot of restaurants, little stop and sit places. That's pretty cool. I was looking into that, but I think it's a Thursday this year. We have softball. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make that one. They also have
I think it's always on softball nights.
It is always on softball nights. The Encinitas one as well. Dog Days of Summer, the 20th anniversary. That's over at the Encinitas Community Park, where we'll show you that in a little bit. That's a great amenity right here as well. Also, we just went to the farmers market over, it's kind of up the road. It's by Miracosta College, so it's not like right in the heart of, you know, downtown Cardiff where we are. It's off Manchester. It's like on the edge of Cardiff, but it was 2024's North County Farmers Market of the Year. So awesome spot. They got some live music going on, all kinds of food and coffees and fresh produce and all that. So they got all that. What was it you said? There's a Santa thing going on too?
I think it's a couple different weekends where you can meet Santa. I think they have a, not phone booth, not a photo booth, but some kind of like camper photo spot or something like that. It's just a really cool event that we've come to a few times. So now we're walking through the Composer District. As you can imagine, street names are named after composers. You have Rubinstein, you have Winchester, you have a whole bunch of those street names in here. Cardiff obviously is English, so you get a lot of that feel kind of throughout as well. But Composer District, bigger lots, big houses. Some of them, there's no ocean front because you'll see that the train tracks and the Coast Highway are down there, but huge views, just kind of wide open 180-degree views. So it's really pretty up here. The Composer District is kind of split up into the west and east side, split in half by the Rossini Canyon. So there's a lot of really pretty just scenery around here in the Composer District.
Composer District is north of the Walking District. It's the northernmost section that is west of the Five right here in Cardiff. To the very north, as far as beach-wise, you're looking at Swami's, which right over there, there's actually one more beach access that goes under the train tracks. Once you go all the way down from there to Chesterfield in the Walking District that we covered earlier, it is no beach access. Not beach access, no ways to get across the train tracks. Now people hop them and this and that, but if you want to cross safely, there's those two sections. So just something to think about as you are going through this area. And the beach is directly out right here. It's just a big bluff. And so there's a few cool little surf spots. One of my favorite surf spots right here, Pipes. If you guys thinking about it, hit us up, call, text, email for some of the best surf spots right here in Cardiff. But once you get into there, you have the campgrounds right over here as well. Now you're a little bit further from that downtown. You're still walkable. I mean, you could e-bike it pretty quickly over there, but it's a different vibe over here, a little more spread out. You got a little bit more room, and it's just a little bit different than the walking district. So as we mentioned earlier, that seaside market, that whole area, that's like the central amenities in Cardiff. There's not a ton right within there. But once you get out, one place we're staying right now is the Encinitas Community Park. This huge park, ton of fields, great playground. They actually put a shade structure in there a few years ago. On the other side is a dog park. You actually have some secret access right here from the Composer District of Cardiff, so don't tell anybody about that. But there is also the Bobby Riggs. It used to be a tennis club, now it's a pickleball club. That's right in Cardiff as well. That place is packed all the time. So if you like pickleball, you want to stay active, that's a huge community for that. There's another little shopping center here with a great sushi spot that me and my family love going to. It is called the Encinitas Sushi Lounge. So that's right here. You have Scripps Hospital, great amenity to have right here. They're building on, they're expanding all that. There's the 5 freeway, we already mentioned that a bunch of times. But so within Cardiff, even though it's small footprint, there's a lot of stuff you get to right around there. There's a lot of other amenities, and especially if you're living here, you're probably going to be exploring a lot of these places that we just went over. So now we are east of the 5, and like we mentioned before, this neighborhood back here, you get a lot more bang for your buck, whereas on the other side, east of or west of the 5, average price point, like we said, is like 3.5 mil. Over here, it's just shy of $2 million. So you still quick access down the beach. You're like 10 minutes. You know, a lot of this area, I don't know if you can see the flower stand back there. A lot of this area, as well with a lot of Encinitas, used to be growing ground. So you'll find there's a little bit here, but most of the rest has been built out. There's behind us, there's like an open field, but everything else in here, for the most part, in this section is single family homes, a lot of single story homes, a lot of those ranch style homes. And then you'll also find some that have been kind of like the other side, basically taken down, rebuilt, brand new homes. So it's a good mixture back here of different styles and different type of homes. There's also a huge, down at the end of this road, or actually a little further that way, a huge condo community, older 70s, 80s style condos. But if you want like in that $1 million price point and you want to live in Cardiff, that could be an option as well.
So here in Cardiff, there's not a ton of master plan. There's none, actually, no master plan communities. But these are kind of older developments from the 60s and 70s called Poinsettia Heights over here, and then Park Places, the townhomes and condos that Chris mentioned earlier. So you do still have a little bit of that cookie cutter feel, but since it is from the 60s and 70s, a lot of the homes have been remodeled. A lot of the neighborhoods just look like cool custom neighborhoods.
What's that style like where they built it like the L style, like over the garage, right?
Oh,
like
yeah,
you'll
yeah.
see like a lot the same kind of.
Yeah, so the city at some point made it easier for houses. So they were all single story to start. The city at one point made it easier for developers or for homeowners to add a second story, and they essentially just make it look like an L, so you don't steal the view from all of your neighbors on one whole side. Now that goes out the window. If you completely demolish and rebuild, you'll see a bunch of 2-story houses that are full rectangle, boxes that take up all that view. But for the most part here, you've got just kind of that eclectic, just custom feel, which we don't see a lot here in Encinitas.
And this area back here is a little bit more convenient as far as going to some of the stores. Now, I'm talking like 8 minutes more convenient, because it's not like where we just were, it's not that far up the hill. You come across freeway. Honestly, Cardiff, like we mentioned before, it's not that big. So, but you're closer to like El Camino Real over in Encinitas, where you have all the big box stores and your Trader Joe's and your Sprouts, Target at the other end, and Home Depots and all that. Now, if you're on this side of Cardiff, maybe you could shoot down to Solana Beach. There's a Sprouts down there and that kind of thing. But up here, it's a little skosh more convenient.
But that also goes for the beach. Your commute to the beach is just a little bit longer. You still see a lot of people getting on their e-bikes and cruising down Birmingham to get down to the coast. But you're just a little bit further away than the rest of Cardiff. One of the big draws of living in Cardiff is the school district. So for elementary school, you have It's a very small school district. You've got Cardiff Elementary, which is K through 3, down right next to the coast. Can't get a better spot for school, ocean views. And then you have Ada Harris up here kind of on the east side of Cardiff as well for 4, 5, and 6. And then as soon as you get to middle school and high school, you're going to San Diego School District, which is for the most part Oak Crest, and then also the San Diego Academy and La Casa Canyon for high school. So really, really good schools, really highly rated schools here in Cardiff.
Now we're at one of my favorite spots, just on the south end of Cardiff. We are literally within walking distance of, you guessed it, the walking district. So that's right behind us over here, but we're at the San Elijo Lagoon, and there's miles and miles of trails out here. So even though it's a little tight in there, once you are driving around, you know, tight little roads, once you get out here, you have a ton of space. There's miles of trails. They just connected all these bridges out here to go across the lagoon, goes back and around, and loops all the way around towards Solana Beach, and goes back even under. There's another bridge underneath the 5 freeway, so you can loop all the way around. So yeah, you're living in this little beach city, but you could also get outdoors and come out here. So huge amenity to have. I'm always out here running, taking laps. You can connect over there to the Solana Beach. There's actually a trail that goes underneath the train tracks to get on the other side as well. So huge amenity to have, and you have super easy access from right here in Cardiff. There's a little parking lot right out here, and then across the road they actually built a little bit more parking because it gets a little bit busy over here. So awesome spot to have right here in Cardiff.